Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is One Core Level 2 podcast. Hope everybody's being blessed, safe, and well. Hope everybody's doing good. Many prayers for comfort, healing, strength, and peace to all who need it. We're going to talk today about being in denial and suppressing your feelings. There's a lot of people in the world who are in denial. They will not acknowledge what they've been through. They will not acknowledge the hurt and pain that they've been through in the past. They will not acknowledge that young man or that man hurt them, and they will not acknowledge that woman or that young girl hurt them. They will not acknowledge their trauma, and they will continue to live in denial. They will continue to suppress their feelings. And you will continue to say for the rest of your life, or as they like to say, I'm standing 10 toes down and I will stand on that hill. And they'll be like, you know what? It didn't happen, but in reality it did. It happened and you just chose not to acknowledge it. And now some bad fruit is being produced out of that. And now there's some things that are going on that some people deem unexplainable, but in reality, it's explainable. Very much so. Listen, unfortunately in our lifetime, there's been a lot of people who have been raped and molested, and they've been taken advantage of. And it's extremely alarming. It's disheartening. It's hurtful. It's disgusting. It's everything, all the other words in the dictionary that you could ever think of. It is like that. But if you continue to deny that happened, you'll never be healed and you'll never be delivered and set free. If you continue to deny, like I said, that man in that relationship or that woman in the relationship that hurt you, you will continue to not be able to walk in your peace and your freedom. You have to accept this thing happened. And there has to be growth that happens so you can heal, so you can move on with your life. And a lot of people are in denial. They do not want to acknowledge. And even seeing other people who have went through hurt and pain, and they'll be like, that didn't ever happen. But in reality, it did. And a lot of people don't want to acknowledge their hurt, their pain, and their past trauma. They don't want to acknowledge even the hurt and pain that's going on now. They refuse to look at it in the face and say, I need to handle this. Because see, sometimes when stuff happens from the past, people act out. People do things. And unfortunately, there's some bad choices that come out of that. You know why? Because I used to be one of them people. You can't tell me nothing. I done been through a lot of stuff in my life. And I can tell when somebody just needs some prayer, somebody just needs some mentorship, and somebody needs to have some closure for a thing. And some people don't want to have that. They just, like I said, they continue. It's a delay. And God wants to bless you. God wants to heal you. God wants to, continue to keep you living in perfect peace, all that stuff. But in order for you to do that, you're going to have to accept reality. And you are going to have to be like, hey, even though I don't like that this thing happened, I acknowledge that it did. Stop being in denial. And also, number 2, stop being delusional. Because some people are delusional and they also have delusions. And it's tough for them. They painted this picture. They painted this big lie. And they're looking at it at the surface and they're like, I like the way this looks because I can find comfort in sitting in that very thing. And I'm going to paint this picture of this lie. And now I can sit in that and people can believe my story and I can get all the sympathy and the empathy and I can get everything that I need. And also, too, it's going to be good because it's going to help me sleep at night. What good is it going to do you if you're also living in your own delusions? You're going to have to come face to face with reality. And guess what? The other B part of that is for some people, it's not for all, but just for some. When you come face to face with your reality and you actually have to face those demons, those trials, those tribulations, all the other things that come with it, you ain't even going to know how to swing. Because all those delusions, they're going to give you a 2-piece combo and a biscuit and you're going to be knocked out. And you ain't going to be able to pick yourself up off the floor. You've been in denial for 50 years that this situation or certain situation that happened, and you choose to sit in that, and you will never resurrect the new you until you deal with the old one. So when are you going to do just that? Well, I'm here to tell you, you're going to have to move some stuff out the way. You're going to have to stop being blind. Because see, some people, like, they're blind. They're oblivious to some things, but more they're blind, and they don't. And it's not just that they're blind, but some people just don't want to see. They don't want to see. They want to be like, oh, man, no. If multiple people tell you that something is true and they see it for what it is, you should take heed, because sometimes God gives you answers through other people. And sometimes God gives you answers and it's blatantly clear. Like the sun is shining on my face right now. It's blatantly clear what is seen, and you see it, they see it, but you just choose not to acknowledge it. Well, why is that? It's called pride, and pride is a thing. And when you are prideful, you will not be able to grow and be a better person. You will not be able to grow and have peace until you set aside your pride and your ego and acknowledge that you have certain problems and issues. And that also, the other thing too, apart, because I believe that this goes apart with the delusion, you're projecting your delusions and fears and hurt and pain on the others about what you're feeling. You treat them a certain way. You talk bad about them a certain way. You talk about people bad a certain way. You always have something negative to say. It's never anything positive. It's how your mama treated you back 20, 30 years ago. Oh, it's spewing out of your system and out of your spirit. How your daddy used to talk to you and cuss you out all the time. Guess what? Now you cussing everybody out. See, sometimes it's not just about you. Sometimes it's about the seed that was planted in you. And sometimes that comes out in the worst way. And other people end up being hurt because you was hurt. Other people end up paying for some of the hurt and pain that you had because all the stuff that you was doing. So now you talk to people a certain way. Now you treat people a certain way. Now it's like, oh, you got all these walls up. Well, how can you be loved? And you're always in defense mode. If you never let God help you with a thing, you're never going to be fully healed. You're never going to be at peace. But it's up to you, because every day that you wake up and every day God gives you breath and you can see and you can talk and you can hear, then you have a chance to make it right. And also you have a chance to get right with him so he can help you make it right. That more importantly. So what you going to do? What's going to happen? Because you got a choice. You can do it. And I encourage you, I encourage you to do this. Everything that I'm telling you are some of the things is some of the stuff that I went through and also that I put myself through. And I am trying to save you heartache and headache and insomnia, not sleeping for days at a time because you just, you just feel a certain type of way and your pride and your ego is taking over. Because your pride and your ego's in the way, you're not really going to be able to do much. Because like I said, you're going to be blind. You ain't going to be able to see. You have to take off the blinders and you have to do a thing. And if you choose to do that, then you may resurrect and you may live. Because you can still live and not be living. You can still be alive and still not be feeling. You can still go to work and do your thing and take care of your family and still be dead as a doorknob. You can still do it. You can make all the good food you want, cook all the great desserts you want, but guess what? You can still not have no life to you. And I want you to have life. I want you to have peace. I want you to have joy. I want you to have everything. In order for you to do that, you got to surrender. But also, number two, you got to not be in denial. And if you don't be in denial, then healing may happen. It's a beautiful thing to live in peace and to wake up and just be like, I can do a thing and I can live. I can take care of my children in peace. I can go to work in peace. I can love and live in peace. And I don't have to worry about living in the past of yesteryear because of my past sin, past aggressions, all that. Walk in your freedom. You're redeemed anyway. Walk in that. But you are going to have to make a sound choice to not live in delusions, to not be delusional, and to acknowledge your past trauma and your past pain. And after that, then may growth take place. And then may you accelerate through life and get what God has for you. Because sometimes God won't give you what you need until you take care of specific problems and issues first. Then may he do a thing. And sometimes people got a good thing, and while they're in their mess, and then they, and then they botch it, and then it's like, oh crap, and then God will like, well, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna see it, and once you, and then it's like, oh shoot, life is better now, it's great, yeah, well, it's great because you chose to open up that door, and now, just like Bane said in the Batman movie, now you have my permission to die. Well, now, after you open up that door, and now that you acknowledge your hurt, your pain, your anger, and you've gotten a handle on that, now you can live. And you can live in peace and freedom. This is One Accord Level 2 Podcast. Be blessed, be safe, be well. And I'll holler at you on the flip side. Peace out.